Hello. What does it look like outside your window? Well, here I have a few inches of snow, more than a few on my window sill, and pre gaming St. Patrick's Day parties all over upstate New York are being postponed, canceled. But for what I see from the most part in upstate New York and in the capital region, the party's still on. So if you're brave enough to brave the roads, then go on out there and support your local business and support your local band. My name is Ralph Renna. This is Capital Underground TV. And again, our debut was during a snowstorm a few weeks ago. And here we are again to talk about local music, to talk with local musicians, just to kind of shoot the shit here at nippertown.com. Capital Underground TV pops up when it pops up, and here we are in another snowstorm doing it again. I hope you dig the awesome keyboard, Viking skull, guitar, Marshall amp, autographed sword poster, and mini Marshall display I've put behind me and creatively try to design every week just to have something cool to look at besides me. RalphRenna.com is my website, shuffleextreme.com. And so I'm going to bring on my guest, I think, if he's ready. And this was just a last minute thing. And we'll tell you how this phone conversation became. And hey, it became, hey, do you want to go live on Facebook today? Hello. Is this Mr. Tom Atkins?
What's up, buddy? How you doing? You hear me
Good.
okay?
How are you? Tom, you brought a guitar. He's got a guitar in his hand. Oh my. Okay. I just asked him to come on the show and I'm very excited he's got a guitar in his hand. So while Jim's trying to pipe that in, so Tom is very easy going, very easy to get along with, been a friend of mine for a long time. And one day I was sitting on a deck, I believe at our friend Dan Kohler's house, and
That's
just
right.
hanging out with a bunch of people with guitars, Jason, right? Randy, Dan, and you, and everybody was just sitting around singing and playing guitar. I'm like, wow, that's, I think, was the first time where I was inspired to start the tradition. And Tom and I were supposed to play today because Aria Chowdhury was way up in Amsterdam. So I called Tom. I'm like, hey, you want to play a show? I don't want to cancel. I really don't want to cancel. We always get canceled at this venue. And Tom's like, yeah, let's do it. And then he calls me back. He's like, it's looking pretty bad out there. I'm like, okay. So we canceled. And then I'm like, hey, Tom, keep it on the back burner if we don't go play a show today, that I'm going to interview you on Capital Underground TV. And that's how quick this happened. So Tom not wanting to drive, what does he do? He gets in his
No,
car.
I wanted to drive. I said I was going to drive, and I was going to do the gig.
He gets right, but I didn't want to drive either. He gets in his car and he drives to go get a guitar and the microphone. So thanks for doing that, and thanks for being here. You want to play us a little something? Do we have anything? Do you have that all set up yet already?
No, all I have is a little bit of noodle, and I'm not even sure. Like I didn't even tune yet, but
Right.
it's all good. It's all good.
But are you live? Does that go electric, or is that just we just going to hear you kind of noodling in the background with that?
Well, I could probably, what I can do is I can see if I can't play to a backing track. I usually do a stream on my live stream shows. I'll do that. I haven't done that in a little bit, so just been changing up a lot of equipment. Got a lot of new stuff coming, and just trying to get stuff together.
So before we play something, just tell us about what Tom Atkins band has been doing. You and I played a gig a few weeks ago in West Sand Lake at the Arlington House. That was a lot of fun, and unfortunately, we lost our friend Carol. She's no longer with us, and I'm glad she was at least still alive that day to see what we could do for the American Cancer Society. But anyway, so it makes it that much more special, and we're going to be playing a special show for her Thursday at Crossroads. But anyway, Tom was there, and it's tough. Tom didn't know who he was playing for, but I did, and so that's the kind of friends we are. And he come up, and we did the benefit. So Tom, you've been saying to me I might be going away to Atlanta to record. What's going on with Tom Atkins band?
So we're supposed to run off to my buddy Rob's house, he lives right between Athens and Atlanta. He's a beautiful studio called rootcellarmusic.com. Root Cellar, he has this beautiful studio, amazing sounding drums, really really good. So just as a background, my drummer Bobby Napierski, we put out our first record back in, or one of our first records together was the Thick record back in 2000, and we've been recording a whole bunch of different stuff through the years. And the last record we put out was on called About Time, and you can find that on tomatkinsband.com, and also on my Bandcamp, which is Tom Atkins Band. I try to put it everywhere. Tom Atkins Band is pretty much, it's my Twitter, it's my Facebook, it's everything. And then basically we're supposed to record down there. But of course, pandemic hits, right? So you have to reschedule stuff. And
Right.
for our
That really put
case,
a dent in everybody's plans.
for our case, it was actually a blessing in disguise, because right after we released the record in 2018, unfortunately, somebody drove head on into Bobby,
Right.
and he almost died. So he's
Right. So
had
your
to have,
drummer, so you got everything moving, the CD comes out, and then the
yep,
ball starts rolling, you start playing everywhere,
yep,
and then
bang,
bam, bang,
bang,
Bob gets
yep,
in a bad accident. I try not
Bob.
to put two B's together like that ever again. But yeah, so we were
That's
really
both
worried
around.
about him. I remember he was in pretty rough shape, and we didn't know the
Yeah,
future of the band, so he
yeah.
has
So
recovered pretty well.
he's recovered great. And what I did was I just stopped doing Tom Atkins Band shows and I hopped up with you. I
Right.
hopped up with my buddies Gino and Playback.
Yep.
And I hopped up in my
Who
blues
we
band. I
lost
started a blues
also,
band.
Gino.
Yeah,
It's
Gino.
really, man.
I'm almost thinking I'm the Tom Reaper. I'm like
No,
magic.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. The only thing you've done wrong with me is eat a French fry while we were playing, and you know that. You know that. No, you're definitely
It
not the
wasn't wrong.
Reaper.
I was hungry.
Right. Right. So
Yeah,
so
Mr.
it,
Morse says hi. Hey, Johnny.
Johnny Morris, what's going on, brother? Yep. So Atlanta. So it's just because it's a
Yeah,
buddy's house. Now, will you be working with any special producers? Tell us
I have
about.
some amazing guests planned for this record. It's
Yep.
just
Tell us
mind
about
blowing.
those.
So I have Tony McAlpine,
Yep.
longtime Shrapnel Records, longtime one of the best piano players, guitar players in the business. He's
Give us some info on these guys, because maybe some people don't know. I know a little
okay.
bit, but tell them, who they've worked with, what bands, maybe, might strike a chord with them.
So Tony McAlpine's been in just a ton of different types of really big, well-known bands. He's done some records with Dennis Chambers, who's like one of the best drummers on the planet. He's just one of those
One of the
guys who's
best
been playing
drummers on the
around.
planet.
Dude, Dennis Chambers, seriously, he's like crazy. He's
Yep.
really, really
Yep.
good.
No, that's good. I've just
Um,
never heard anyone say on the planet.
Oh no, yeah, I can't think of anybody. Watch this guy. You gotta watch this guy play drums. He's
Right.
actually chewing bubble gum, and he's playing like a tempo. He's playing, playing super
Is he
fast, and he
blowing
does like,
bubbles?
and he's literally blowing bubbles with bubble
Is he?
gum
He's
while he's
blowing bubbles?
playing like
Okay.
Cherokee,
That's
like he's
cool.
playing like high end jazz stuff.
Right.
He's just a freak. So,
Right.
anyways, so Tony was really nice. I met Tony for the first time this last summer, back 2021. Yeah, at the Great Guitar Escape, which is the Paul Gilbert Guitar Camp.
Yeah, so
Um,
let's stop there. So these
sure.
guitar camps, you love doing these, and you've gotten to
Yes.
get on stage, and by doing these guitar camps and going there, you have a blast, and you're jamming with
Yeah.
your idols, Steve
Jam
Vai,
with Idols. Yep.
Paul,
Yep. The
Paul
first one.
Gilbert. Now was the
Yep.
next one you went to. So
Yep.
you've met and played with other people by going there. There's some other,
Right.
wasn't there some connection with George Lynch?
Yep.
Was
That's what
that you? Was
George
that
Lynch was
you?
at.
That
Yep.
was
George
you,
is at the
or
last
some
camp.
other
George.
guitar god?
Yep. Oh, geez. Well, so many. I mean, it's just crazy. Dreamcatcher events, they put on the best camps because what they do is they really involve the people who are putting the camps on
Yep.
in hands-on you're playing with. So, for example, for my next record, because I've been going to these camps, right? So I
Right.
encourage anybody to go to Dreamcatcher camps because you can network. These guys are no different than anybody else. I always put everybody up on such a huge pedestal that they're like, that they're gods. And to me, they are. But they're also very approachable, and they're working musicians.
They're just
They got
people
it.
like us, though.
Exactly. They just love doing what they do, and they're phenomenal at it. And but anyway, so long story short, this next record I got Tony McAlpine from the Paul Gilbert Guitar Camp. I have Andy Wood from the John Petrucci Guitar Camp.
Right.
And actually Andy does his own camp, which is in the end of August. And it's basically called the Woodshed, and it's in Tennessee. I'm hoping, cross fingers, to try to make it down to that. But either way, Andy Wood is world renowned. I think he plays I mean, country music. I think he does Rascal Flatts. He does a whole bunch of. He does a major big names. Major big names. He plays with everybody big, and he's in Knoxville. He's amazing. He's got a great Patreon page. Just look up andywood.com and go to his Patreon. It's totally worth it. If you're a guitar player, you will get great stuff from Andy Wood.
It's a
He's
little,
amazing.
it's a little easier these days
It is. It is.
to record with people because even if they can't make it into the
Right.
studio while you're there, you can just go home, send them the tracks, and they can do it anywhere in the world, and that's what makes
Right.
it amazing. It's like, "Hey, I got an instrumental CD. I think I'm gonna hire,
Right.
Ripper Owens," like a local band
Right.
did. They hired Ripper Owens to actually sing on their CD. Um,
You can
so
get Billy Sheehan.
yeah,
Like
Billy
Johnny Morris
Sheehan.
knows, you can Billy Sheehan even did one of Johnny Morris's shows,
Yep,
like Just Talking,
And
and he's
Johnny
super awesome.
well, we'd rather get him in town,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I'm
No, no, we
saying?
will, we
And
will.
then we'll
Well,
put up
we will
everybody
see
at
it.
Johnny Morris's house.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yep.
you can all stay there, don't worry
Yep.
about it.
I'll stay at John's house.
We'll make it happen. Um, so yeah, I there's some magic could happen, man. There's I mean, there's worldwide musicians, famous people,
Right.
Grammy winning, Grammy nominated artists that live here, are from
Right.
here, and that's pretty
That
exciting though to be
speaking of
able
that
what?
speaking of that, right there, Kevin Brandow, right? One Grammy-winning guitar players from my town, East Greenbush,
Absolutely,
actually
yep.
from me. I rehearse at his studio, and his cover band TV, and he actually records bands playing at his studio. You can, because let's face it, we're musicians, and not necessarily doesn't mean we're technically great on computers or technically great at doing
Right, right,
that
right.
aspect of it, but we're great at playing music, right? So it just so happens I happen to be very lucky that I can do a lot of this kind of stuff. But that's really luck. It has nothing to do with skill, as you can see.
Right. Well, no, you
But
when
basically, the idea is that at Kevin's at Cover Band TV, go check out coverbandtv.com, and you can actually do a live stream from Kevin's place if you need to get gigs. That's one of the best ways. You have a reel, instant reel, do a live stream from Cover Band TV, and
right.
Kevin's a great friend. Well, I'm actually
Do
supposed to
original
meet.
bands get to
Yep,
perform on Cover Band TV too as well? So
absolutely,
yeah, so that's definitely
absolutely,
something we want to do for
yeah,
both sides of the fence, which I've kind of fallen on. I'm back to
yeah,
writing original music, but I started, wound up playing covers eventually, and it's
yep,
what we do. We have fun with it, but yeah, that Cover Band TV, like many other things, like all the shows that are happening on Nippertown, that Fuzzing 518 show,
hmm,
Jim and his interviews, the crew that was born from all of this, and then of course this Capital Underground TV. And I'll go back to coverbandtv.com. Is that what it is?
yep.
Is that right? Okay.
Coverbandtv.com,
And Kevin's
and
also the singer in the Refrigerators. You'll see him
yep,
filling in with Dashboard Anthem.
yeah,
And
he
I
does
think the
everything.
Refrigerators are still playing twice today, even though the snow's going on. I saw the tent set up at Bootleggers. They're still ready to go.
Yeah, he
Um,
doesn't stop.
it looks like
He's
the snow's slowing down, Tom. Should we go play that gig today?
if did they cancel or no?
Well, yeah, yeah, they did, but I'll call them in a little while and say, "Hey, is there people there? You want us to come play?" Maybe we will. I don't know. The
Find
winds
out
are
with them.
looking pretty
Find out with them.
whipping though.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
anyway, so as I was
We're
saying
both
though, Ralph,
no, no. So anyway, we're both frozen inside.
right?
Okay.
So
Go
so
ahead.
at these guitar camps, so I started a Dreamcatcher guitar camp back in 2014. They had a camp, a local camp up in Saratoga, and it was Steve Vai's camp. And Steve
Right.
Vai had Guthrie Govan. It had it had geez, I'm forgetting all the great names of players. They had Vernon Reeve from Living Color. They
Yep.
had amazingly super talented players, and I was so intimidated. I was like, I didn't want to leave my room. My roommates were from New Zealand. You
Yep.
tell me another time in your life where your roommates are from New Zealand. It doesn't happen. So it was pretty amazing, and so I got to go up and play with Steve, and I was just totally beyond nervous. Right, it's the
Right.
first time you're ever going to do something like that,
Right.
and for me, Steve Vai was always definitely showed me what humor could be on the guitar,
Right.
right? Because he had like guitar licks that were actually kind of, if you play them as a guitar player, they're almost kind of funny, you know? And
Steve Vai licks sound funny. Like
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
it kind
Just
of
come
he
through,
has a very Woody Woodpecker approach.
right?
No
So
disrespect to Steve Vai, please,
no,
because
none, God,
none,
but
because
that
in
right,
fact, I might have heard him play that at one point somewhere, but he's got a very hop along and definitely innovative style that has
right.
influenced generation.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah, everybody. So he's been so I've gone to all of his camps since 2014, and he's got a new camp coming this summer in Las Vegas.
Yep.
So that's like August, and I think it's already very close to being sold out. So if you guys want to check it out, it's definitely the best way to get better. Oh, and yeah, Jennifer Batten next Monday, Mayhem. That's right. So Jennifer Batten's going to be local. She's amazing. I had lessons with her back when I was going to GIT. But anyway, so let me focus, John, Ralph. So let me focus. So basically, for the new record, I got from doing these camps. So I have Tony McAlpine, Andy Wood, Andy Timmons, and possibly I haven't confirmed it, so I'm not. I really shouldn't say it, but it's a possible that I'm gonna have George Lynch play a solo on the new record too.
That's awesome.
So
How did you meet him? That was where we were trying to go earlier. You told me a little
okay.
story. Tell that little story about when you met George Lynch and how people were like now referring you and spoke highly of you. I
Right.
mean, this is
So
and you were
so
very, very humble about this when you were telling me.
blown away by this. So basically, George Lynch had a website back. He still has a website, but for a little while he was doing what was called a dojo, which is like a student assembly. So anybody who wants to learn from George specifically, and it was just like an open online thing, and
A
you
dojo,
submit
though.
stuff. Yeah, it's called basically it's just a dojo. So it's basically students gathering around a teacher.
Wait,
That's the
wait, wait,
basic
wait.
essence of it.
Fighting or playing guitar?
Guitar, playing guitar.
Okay, so a
That's what he
dojo. A
called it. Yeah.
dojo, I'm thinking Cobra Kai shit,
Yeah,
man. I'm
exactly.
thinking
That's
Danny and
but
Johnny are going at it.
there are only a few huge guitar players you can really think of that are like that. And George Lynch is huge in Japan, so he
Absolutely.
loves that.
Yep.
And so he basically just did this thing, and I submitted some stuff to him, and I won one of his pedals, and then I also submitted other things,
You
and
want a
as well
pedal.
as a
That's
song.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yep.
one of his like little, and he signed it, and it was like, oh my god, this is just insane. This is great. And then uh he tried having a guitar camp of himself by himself, just him and like two other guys, and it was basically like at the LA Hilton. It was like he rented out a big room in the LA Hilton, and there was about 50 of us,
Right.
right?
So you
Which was
got to
great.
go to this special trip because you won the pedal.
No, I mean you pay for that too. I mean
Oh,
you
okay.
pay for the
I
camp.
was
You pay for
confused.
all
I'm sorry.
camps. It's not. I didn't have to. I basically um the camp that George put on. So I went and we played Voodoo Child together. And he
Wow.
had this thing, and you know me, like we play Hendrix, I'll play that until
I
the
didn't
sun
know
comes
that
up, right?
part. I didn't know you guys
And
played together. Oh, wow.
it was mind blowing, and he's so loud. He's such a great guitar player, but man, he is not shy about the volume.
I always
And
noticed that about people like him. I'm gonna drop another name. I hope I get this right. Warren DeMartini, Rat.
yeah, Rat.
Like,
Yep.
and also the guys in Tesla. I mean, I remember
Oh,
seeing
Frank
those 3.
Hannon, baby, Frank Hannon.
Right, right, but they always had great guitar tones and loud amps, fucking real loud, and it was
Yeah,
great.
right. And you really felt, I mean, you feel the,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
you felt the
you
more
felt the
the
frequency come through your
you felt
arms.
them more as a metal band than a rock
Right,
band when you listen
right,
to the record, when you see them
right.
out live, yeah.
So anyway, so from that experience with George, and I tried to stay in touch with him after the camp. He sent me a couple emails back and forth. See him over at Poughkeepsie, the Chance, because he plays down at the Chance a lot.
Right.
And just stayed in touch with him or whatever. But then he does this Paul Gilbert camp back in 2021, and I had just because of time, I hadn't really talked to him in a while. It'd been a little while. I go up to go play because at the camps they have it set up so you can play with drummers and bass players after hours. You can just basically, it's like an open jam session, very similar to like the Trick Shot Wicked open mic. I mean,
Right,
anybody can
right,
come and
right. Every
play,
Thursday
right?
night, Trick Shot
Every
and
Thursday
Wicked
night,
has
right?
every Wicked has that open mic.
Yep. And so I'm kind of very used to those things. So I did that, and apparently, this is apparently, I wasn't there.
We
This is what
say
I was told.
apparently it might not be the fucking truth, okay?
Right.
Apparently.
That because I wouldn't want to ever have somebody tell me that that's not what happened.
Nope,
That would
Capital
hurt. That would
Underground
break my
TV,
heart.
Nippertown, Capital Underground Radio are not responsible for what Tom is about to say.
So anyway, so apparently George looked over and he saw I was about to play, and he says to Tony and Greg Howe, who's the other guitar player there, he goes, "Oh,
Yeah,
Tom's gonna play. You got to go check him out."
that's cool. That's like a
Coming from a
referral
god,
from
that's
George
like,
Lynch.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's Zeus basically saying, "Here, here's a puny
How did
human."
that make you feel, man?
I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it. But what's great after that, after I played, Tony McAlpine comes up to me and goes, "You must play louder." And I'm like, I mean, if anybody who knows me knows my biggest fear is being too loud for the other guys in the band. I don't want to be that guy that oh you're too loud. I because of my hearing, I don't want that reputation. I don't want that reputation that I play over
Right.
the
Now
top of
now
other
stop.
people.
Now stop. You said you're hearing. Now,
Yeah.
most people might not know that you have hearing issues, maybe more than they think for being able to play guitar.
Well, I was born partially deaf in both ears.
Yeah,
That's what
and I
happened.
find it
So
hard to believe. I think he's fucking lying, to tell you the
no,
truth,
I
because I play with him all the time, and I'm like, "How does he hear that?" He said he's
right,
partially deaf. How does he
right
hear
there
me
it
now?
is. There it is.
Right.
That's how I can play with you.
This amazing piece of machinery that helps him
Hearing aids.
hear.
Hearing
Yeah,
aids are
hearing
amazing.
aids. So,
And
if anyone
so
tells you that a partially or, 100% deaf person's not, good enough to play music with you, well, I'm
oh
living
no, they
proof.
totally can. They
Yeah,
totally
you
can. And
can, absolutely.
they can win Academy Awards now, Ralph.
Do you think that you shy off from your volume knowing having hearing issues, that
Well, I
maybe
actually
maybe
I
that's why you don't play so loud, or is it more of you don't wanna overpower the band?
I it's because I can't really tell if I'm too loud. So I always relied like in back in my thick days, my bass player Eric Schwanke he was in charge of my stage volume. Like because I
Right,
couldn't tell.
right.
Like
Am I
I
too
didn't want
loud? Am I too little?
and I
Right.
would leave it with somebody who had perfect pitch and perfect hearing to
Yep.
say, okay, no, you can turn up, turn that loud. And that's what's
Very
also
good.
really funny is that, it's not a I mean, everybody hearing issues are prevalent in the music industry because everything's loud, right? So a
Right,
lot of people like
everything is loud.
people get tinnitus because they don't take care of it. This is the one cool thing with my hearing aids is that I leave them in, and they also act as a gate, so no high volumes can actually ever hurt my ears. So I actually leave them in while I'm playing, and it really helps me
Right.
out. Um, but that being said, in-ear monitors, I can't use those. It's there's wonderful perks and detractions from it. But bottom line, the most important thing about it is that like anything, if you want something, you can't sit back and let that get in your way. My parents were really nervous about me being a musician when I was in high school. This is all
I
I wanted
think
to do.
that I think
And
that all of our parents were
right,
nervous about any of us getting into
right,
the music business.
right.
'Cause
And
sometimes we, and I'll speak for myself, I went down a really dark path between radio, punk rock, and hardcore, and certain surroundings, and definitely heavily influenced me to take a dark road, and that will be in my book, by the way. We'll talk about
oh,
that a little bit
awesome.
more. Yes, the book is still being worked on. But yeah,
Nice.
and
Nice.
some of us don't, some of us, excel and succeed, and you know, um so yeah, I think all parents are afraid of the rock and roll when they
Oh
say,
yeah, yeah,
"I
and
don't want to play
especially
baseball, Dad. I want to be a DJ and I want to be in a band." That's it.
yeah, I drove my dad crazy with
Not
that. He
fucking
loved he
playing
loved
baseball.
baseball, and I even pitched a little
Right.
bit, but then I was
Right.
like, I love music more. And it's honestly his fault. He got me a guitar in 1983. It's
Yep.
his fault. So I
It's
like
his
to tease
fault.
him
My
about that.
uncle too, when I was probably 8, but a
Your
year old.
uncle?
My uncle Vito, yeah, Vito Ciccarelli, he bought me my first guitar, and,
Love
I
Uncle
I
Vito.
I didn't play it for a while, and they wound up picking it back up again when I a few years later. But, yeah, I come from a family where dominated with awesome, awesome baseball players, football players, basketball players, whatever, lacrosse. All my family were all sports, 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 and I was finally like, I don't want to do this. This is not me, man. This is not me. I want to be that dude. I want to be, I was listening to Casey Kasem and Bob Mason and Bob Welch on Q104. No, I wanted to
Right.
be a DJ. I wanted to play music and be a host because I felt like I could never play music and I would never be in a band.
Oh my God,
And like
Ralph.
3 years later, I was like, I can fucking do this. And
Yeah,
I
you
did it.
can.
And you did it.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
loved when you came down to the studio. So the first time we met back 2006, you came down for the College for Criminals session.
Right.
Dan Kohler was writing. We were writing his record in my
Yep.
studio, and you were doing. I think we did Sour Man. I think that was the original for College for Criminals. And
I did
then
the
Dinsmore was
ending,
playing
the
on
ending
that.
like scream part. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And right away though, it was great, man. We were hanging instant buddies. I like that.
Yep. Yep.
And Pretty
connections
much.
through music. But
Yep.
me and you got a little more snuggly, but you know, because we're like snuggle kind of dudes.
We're
Uh,
snuggly. We're cuddles.
how
We're
the
all
hell did
cuddles.
that happen? What did I
I have
say?
no idea.
I know what I said. You were like, "Am I cool?" And I'm like, "You're cuddly cool." It was just a text kind of
No,
thing.
maybe it was late or something. I didn't want you to be mad at
Right.
me because I was running late.
Right. Right. I don't give a shit. I bust people's balls, but I don't when
Right.
I the people are like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "Don't say you're sorry. Who gives a shit? It's fine. Did I wake
What's
you
the
up?"
comments going on there? I'm seeing some
Yeah,
Rosemary.
look, follow the comments. Everybody who's been hanging out. Johnny Morse this Monday, of course. Fuzz, there he is. So show the guitar off. Fuzz
Yep.
wants to show the guitar off. So
This
this
is
is
a
a
this
Steve
is
Vai
a Steve
replica.
Vai model Pia. This is
Does he make
a
those himself and sell them himself?
Ibanez sells them. They're made
Right.
by Ibanez.
Right.
Ibanez in Japan, so it's a very much a Japanese import, if you will. But
Is
this
that
is a
who Steve Vai is endorsed by?
yes, yeah.
Are you
This is
endorsed
his.
by anyone?
I'm not endorsed by anybody. I
Why
could play a guitar if I
not?
want. Well, I one of these days, who knows? I gotta get the right opportunity,
George
the right
Lynch, if you're
what to
out there,
prepare.
George
Well,
Lynch,
George makes
IL7.
his own guitars. George
George
makes his own
Lynch,
guitar.
George Lynch, IL7. Tom Atkins needs an endorsement.
Mr. Scary himself.
Paging,
He actually
paging
guitars are
Tony
called Mr. Scary.
McAlpine, paging Steve Vai, Steve Vai. Tom Atkins needs an endorsement.
You're making me blush, Ralph.
Well, you do. You deserve. First of all, you don't need a dessert. You deserve.
Oh, Fuzz,
You
thank you, Fuzz.
deserve it. You deserve it. So
Um,
right, right.
yeah. So
The only reason Fuzz likes it is because the guitar's fucking green. First of
yeah.
all,
Really?
he doesn't
That
even
is
know.
because it's
He doesn't even
green.
know about the inlays. Show him the inlays.
Oh yeah,
It's
look at those
beautiful.
inlays. Look at
Fuzz
that.
like it's green. It's all me.
Oh,
Fuzz wants that on his wall right now. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Right. Look at the special pick. Now in these pickups, they are like a paisley pattern, originally meant for Prince's guitar. Yeah, but how about the inlays? What are the inlays? Are they like swans and stuff?
No, it's just his
Normally
tree
they're
of
just
life. It's called the tree of life thing.
chunks, or lines, but
Right.
yeah, the inlays are cool.
It's
Definitely,
very
definitely.
Italian, because Steve is very Italian, so he really likes that really like flowery stuff and really, really gaudy,
Right,
gold
right.
and he's. But this is very Irish to me. And right in time for St. Patrick's Day.
Yep,
This is my St. Patrick's guitar for the most part of the rest of my
yep,
life. You know, me being Irish and all, I definitely celebrate that.
yep.
But basically, yeah, the thing about the guitar with that, now Tony McAlpine does Ibanez. Andy Timmons is Ibanez as well. Andy Wood is Sir guitars, and I know Mr. Rich Romano is a huge Sir guitar fan, and those things are amazing. They're really great guitars.
Yeah.
And then I think, and then George is the long time ESP guitars, but he also has his own. He makes guitars. He'll
So
make
some
a
of
guitar
these
for you.
so some of these guys are actual. Would they could be considered luthiers? Or are they guitar
George
builders?
would, yeah, George
Right.
would.
Are you a luthier if you build acoustic guitars, or is that for electric guitars too? Is it
No,
different
luthier
names?
is for electric guitars too.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
luthier is a very if any you put what you're luthier of right before luthier. So guitar
Right.
luthier, cabinet luthier, you know,
Right.
stuff like that. But
Very cool.
yeah, man, life has been amazing, and it's just unbelievable that I've gone from this position where I put out my record and Radio X is playing. You guys are playing the heck out of it, and
Well,
which I
that's
can
where I
never thank
used to
Artie
work,
enough.
Radio X. They
Yeah,
are playing the heck out of it. We're doing it on Capital Underground as well.
yep. You always
Uh,
play. You always play my stuff, Ralph. So
absolutely.
thank you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, no problem.
and then there's that was that, and I always set out to try to write a record every year, and the
Right.
pandemic really kind of
How many
uh
tunes you got for the new record when you head down to Atlanta?
20.
20 songs. And why is that?
Yeah,
Are you gonna use them all, or just
we're gonna use them all and then put them out over the couple of months. You can get the
20
record.
songs are ready to go?
Yeah, they're rehearsing. Everything's ready. All we're doing is like doing a little bit of polishing. We're just
Right.
polishing it up to get. So once you get in the studio, once you have everything going on, then a certain magic has to happen there,
Right.
and then basically it all comes back home. My buddy Rob's gonna mix it, and like I said, I have just these crazy guests lined up for this record. I just can't
Yep.
believe it. Tony McAlpine's already kind of got his parts already together. We've been going back and forth on that. Andy Wood and Andy Timmons are both kind of basically ready. So once I get these things together, it's gonna be it's gonna be really epic. It's gonna be huge for
Do you
me.
have a any kind of title for this new CD?
Do I have a title for this CD?
Let's come up with one now.
Okay.
Me
I'll put it
first.
out to
Me
the people.
first. Me first. Me first.
Okay, go ahead.
Snow cone.
Snow cone. Okay. I like if you put it out to the people, but use the Bane voice. They put it out to the people from Batman, right? So it's yours. Take it away. And so yeah, hey, Fuzz, what do you think a new record should be called?
Yeah, let
What if
fuzz.
you had a
Let's let the
record?
chat. So Johnny Morse, Wyatt Stockwell, also banned
Riot
his band.
Stockwell.
Right, his Wyatt Stockwell, his band got probably postponed tonight. So thanks for
Oh,
being here. So if you guys want to put in the chat, what should we name the new Tom Atkins CD? Me second. Me second. Right, I got
go
another
ahead.
one.
Go ahead.
Apollo Bleed.
Apollo Bleed. Mm. That fits. Now, so right now I have about 4 songs that are drop D, and they're a little bit more aligned with thick stuff. Which thick you can get all that stuff on TomAtkinsBand.com. Thick is also on.
People can download your music there for free,
Yep,
or is it like
yep.
linked to
If
buy?
you go
Or
up on if you go to TomAtkinsBand.com, you can get on the email list, and I send free stuff a lot. And there's also the CDs are available there. I have a guitar book.
yeah,
From
let's
teaching.
talk about the book. There we go. That's
Sure.
something that I was forgetting about.
I have a book. I have a book around here somewhere, but basically, it's called "The Foundation of Rock Guitar." And I went out. Actually, this is scary, Ralph, because January 2020, before chaos, apocalypse. Fuzz, look at you. That's pretty cool.
That's the fuzz. I like Fuzz's title out of any I've said or you've said so far, and that's it. So atomic apocalypse. Is that what he said? Atomic apocalypse.
Now, one tentative
Two
title I
A's,
have.
two A's in a row. Atomic apocalypse.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Apocataco.
A's.
Apocataco. It's hard to say. I
It
like it
is.
though.
So
The
initially, I
atomic
had
apocalypse, maybe.
Initially, I had a title working with different seasons because
Right.
it's a little bit it is having all these different kind of players on my stuff is just that's just very different. So actually have four different amazing guests. I was like, okay, 4 seasons, so different seasons, which is
Right.
goes along with my Stephen King
So
fascination too.
So let's just stop for a quick commercial, okay?
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ralph Renna and Tom Atkins both have ADD and have been suffering from this for a long time. They're going to now get back to the regularly scheduled program for let's talk about Tom's book again. That's where we were, and we veered off a little bit.
All
So
right.
so it's the book now. That's pretty cool thing to publish. You know, you don't need to show it, and we'll
I was
definitely
gonna, I
send
was looking around
everybody.
to see if I had it.
Yeah, we'll put it in the chat. I'll put some links,
Okay.
and when this is over with, definitely go back and go in the chat, and you can post your links. And I'll be posting TomAtkinsBand.com. In fact, I'll do it real soon. Tell us more about this book, though, because I thought that was
So,
a huge mark in your life, and we had you featured at Reverbicon
yep.
last summer
Yep.
over at Broken Road Barbecue.
Yep. And so basically, what happened with that book was I've been writing it since 2004, when I was teaching full time before I started working for New York State,
Yep.
and I basically had about 75 kids a week between teaching at Burnhouse Music, teaching over at New Music over in Albany when it used to be over there, and I taught a couple different spots, and also let's see
This
over at
was years
Rockies.
ago, though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, this
Years
was years
ago.
ago because once I was getting the steady money, then I just kind of just I didn't teach as much.
Right. You weren't
But
playing as much because you were teaching. You were like, I've been teaching, whatever.
right.
Right. You weren't playing as much when you were teaching, right?
Well, no, that's all I was doing was playing
Was
and
it? Okay,
teaching.
all the
Yeah,
time,
and it was
full-time musician.
yeah, and it was what was funny about that was I had a job down in New York City doing Flash development, right? Doing it as a Flash developer, and that was paying me almost 100 grand a year. And but basically once the presidential election happened and they knew the tax laws were going to change, everybody on Fifth Avenue in New York City who was doing computer work got laid off. So I came back up here, and then that's all I was doing.
From
So
New
I was
York City,
teaching.
you're talking
Yeah.
about, right?
Yep. Yeah. I grew up here, but I went down to the city to work like just everybody does, right?
Right.
And but basically it was then I just had to start teaching. So I after about 6 or 7 months, I had 75 kids a week.
Yeah,
And
that's a pretty big list to take on. That's a lot of that's everywhere. That's working 6 days a week, pretty much, or more,
yep,
right?
pretty much. Yep, pretty
Yeah.
much. And it was I absolutely loved it, but the hardest part about it really was about trying to keep, um, you know, it when you first starting to play guitar, it's really, really hard to get to that point where you feel like you're improving. Initially, like it's just hard to get the fingers to start spreading. It's hard to just get acclimated to holding a pick. There's a
Yep.
lot of different challenges. So what
You gotta be the guitar. I
right.
learned
And
that
so
at a later age too.
right. So one of the things that I happened with me was that I was really stuck on just trying to get the basic thing of keeping your fingers down.
Hmm.
So you're only playing one finger at a time. And so basically what happened was I was like, I don't care. I'm not going to stop until this works.
I
And then the
don't
next
care.
morning I woke
I'm gonna
up
do it.
and I could
Right.
do it.
Right.
So
Do you have that thing plugged in?
do I?
Is the guitar, is it just there for show or is it plugged in? I don't hear it.
Sounds
I,
great in
I
my headphones.
Yeah, but it's not coming through the stream, but that's okay.
Huh.
We don't need to go there. It looks cool
Hmm.
in your hands.
Oh, okay.
All right, Tom. Well, I want to thank you for being here. TomAtkinsBand.com. Definitely got to get some laundry done now and see what's going on for snow out there. The plows came through. Thanks to Collar City Concrete for coming through and taking care of our property. I mean, and they're not a sponsor, just a friend. So yeah, I guess this is sayonara for now, Mr.
All right.
Tom Atkins. TomAtkinsBand.com, Tom Atkins and Tom Atkins Band on Facebook. Where else are you
Right.
socially linked to?
Also on Stage It, Tom Atkins Band on Stage It's a great platform. I'll be also probably doing a something on Bandcamp.
You
Um,
do live streams too as well,
I do
right?
live streams. Yep, they're always
Anything coming up soon?
hopefully within the next 2 weeks. That's still
Right.
as things are been getting changed around
Right.
in around here. So just once I have these other things set up. Obviously, if you can't hear my guitar, so major strike on me today. But it was basically just say, hey, this is just like it. Let's make it happen. So yeah, so TomAtkinsBand.com for my book Foundations in Rock Guitar. I have a podcast called All Around the Fretboard. That's gonna have that has
There it
Tony
is, all
Falpine
around the fretboard.
all around the fretboard, and it's basically focused on guitar. So any guitar players out there who love to talk about guitar, I talk about gear, I talk about getting great signal path, getting your pedals together, getting your amps going. But all around the podcast has interviews with Andy Timmons. It has interviews with Tony McAlpine. Like I said, I'll have a couple more coming up. And a couple of local guys are going to do it too.
Okay,
Rich
great. And they
Romano
can find all that
and
on your
Kevin.
Facebook page
Yep, they can get all that on Facebook and get
at
all on
TomAtkins.com.
TomAtkinsBand.com.
So I think Fuzz came up with a really good title for you, The Atomic Apocalypse, because your name is Tom, and I just kind of got that. So
Right.
when you next time you talk to Lynch or to Steve Vai, you got to tell him about that Fuzzing Rock show because he just interviewed Jeff Tate, and that era of generation is the stuff that we were doing. So I need you to hook
What's
Fuzz.
the Fuzz?
That Fuzzing Rock show. He's been interviewing the likes of George Lynch. Just
That's
interviewed Jeff
awesome.
Tate, right? So has some really cool interviews. Has stepped up his game. So that's every Thursday on Nippertown.com. Well, thanks for being here, Mr. Tom
Johnny
Atkins.
Morris just told me to try something.
Okay, what's up? Oh, you want to do that? Johnny, you're gonna get it. This is how Johnny gets feedback. There it is. All right, play Eruption. We'll see you later, buddy. Thank you very much. TomAtkins.com, TomAtkinsBand.com. Thank you for being here and just help us kill the winter boredom and the snowstorm canceling the tradition gig. I'll see you when you see you. And Capital Underground TV thanks you again.